And we go to our next match of the night. We go back to ringside and we get a theme song on the PA system. Oh God, no, not this. No, not this. Vince McMahon, Tom Nakano, Sami Zayn, and Damian Priest of the Church of McMahon come out on stage. Vince McMahon looks very proud, not only because of the Church of McMahon's victory at All-American Combat, but also because of his assistance in helping Seth Rollins retain the Combat League World Championship in the main event. While Tom Nakano eagerly walks beside Vince, Sami and Damian are a little more hesitant. Damian still looks distrustful, and Sami Zayn still looks as confused as could possibly be. And once they get in the ring, Vince McMahon takes a microphone. He says, "Damn, it feels good to be Vince McMahon." And the crowd boos at that. And he says, "Oh, you're going to boo me for being honest? If there was a way to spend an hour in my shoes, all of you people would be lining up. Everyone wants to be Vince McMahon. Hell, I don't blame you. My life is awesome, damn it." And then Vince looks to Sami and Damian and Tom and he goes, "But what happened to us? We should be celebrating, damn it. We forced Bret Hart to retire. We silenced the Miller and his pathetic world, and Scott Hall has been MIA. We killed the NWO, but Damian, you look like you want to kill me. Sami, you look like you could use some," and Sami cuts him off. He goes, "Who's involved in the conspiracy? Was I just a ploy, Vince? Was I blind, just like all of these people? Did you use me, Vince?" And Vince, a little stunned by Sami's outburst, and whoa, Sami. I didn't use anyone. This is still about McMahonism. This is still about spreading the word of sports entertainment. Honestly, it's something bigger than that even. For I have found the Messiah of McMahonism." And Vince McMahon suggests toward the stage. And the Combat League World Champion dances out on stage, but this time the crowd not singing. This time the crowd booing. And he smirks and he's doing the Hogan thing, listening to all the boos. He's switching from sides and then he prances down the ramp. And when he gets in the ring, he walks. Vince McMahon holds out his hand for a handshake, and Seth smiles and hugs Vince McMahon instead. And Seth Rollins takes a microphone, and the crowd's still booing, and Seth taking in all the boos. And Seth Rollins says, "The greatest trick that Devil ever did was convince the world that he doesn't exist. You people really should have listened to Punk. He was right about me. He was right about all of it. Well, mostly all of it. See? You people stick with your favorite, but once you're tired of them, you throw them away and you move on to the new flavor of the month. But I grew tired of all of you. I hated hearing you sing my song. I hate hearing you yell, 'Burn it down,' with your nasally, pitiful voices. I didn't want any of your support, but Vince McMahon, being the genius that he is, made me realize something. Why not use that to my advantage? With all of you at my side, buying my merch, spending your hard-earned money to see me compete in this ring, I was able to milk all of you all the way to a world championship match. I even used Eddie Guerrero's name to hammer in on your support. I don't give a damn about Eddie. I am the greatest world champion in Combat League history because I am the man who beat the walking weapon on the biggest stage of them all. But you know something, Vince? Something about this title just doesn't feel right." And Vince McMahon replies, he says, "I was just thinking that myself. Sami, can you go outside and retrieve that for me?" And a confused Sami Zayn looks in the direction Vince is pointing, and there is a clothed item on the timekeeper's table. Sami leaves the ring and grabs it, and he hands it to Vince, and Vince smiles and digs in the cloth sack, and he pulls out the WWE World Championship. And then Vince says, "What do you say you throw that ugly thing away and carry the real deal, champ?" And Seth Rollins smiles, unstraps the Combat League World Championship, and he flings it outside of the ring. Vince McMahon then places the WWE World Championship around his waist. And Seth Rollins, yes, much better. And that's when Damian Priest cuts in and he says, enough of the BS. What is this, Vince? Why are we out here? And more importantly, why is he out here? And then Seth looks at Damian. What's wrong, Dame? Can't we all just get along? And at that, Priest gets right in Seth Rollins' face, and Seth continues smirking. Vince tries to neutralize the situation, and he begins speaking in, and Vince says, this is what we wanted, Damian, to infiltrate Combat League, to take it down from within. We couldn't do that with that damn Bret Hart, but now we ended the New World Order before it began, Damian. This company is ours. This company has always been ours. I didn't want to loop you in on it because the less people who knew, the better. The plan was always for Seth Rollins to work his way to the World Championship while everyone else was distracted with us. But that's only the beginning, Damian and Sami. Think about what this Rock and Roll Forever tournament means. Think about taking those Combat League World Tag Team Championships. We can recreate this company in our own image. This was the master plan. And Seth Rollins cuts in and he says, and I'm not going to be as diplomatic about it as Vince. You can either join our vision or simply get left behind, Dame. And Damian and Seth Rollins go face to face again, but Josh Alexander hops over the barricade and he gets in the ring and he goes right after Seth Rollins. Josh Alexander backs Seth Rollins into a turnbuckle and he's hitting Seth Rollins with several rights and lefts. And Vince McMahon barks at Sami and Priest to get involved. And at first, Sami's about to, but Damian holds him back. And Damian looks like he's just enjoying Seth Rollins getting his ass kicked. But Vince McMahon, damn it, think about it. And Nakano, please help. And Priest eventually says, damn it. And he lets Sami go, and Priest and Sami go after Josh Alexander, both men attacking the walking weapon. Seth Rollins he's trying to run the show here. And he tells, after they jump on Josh Alexander, he gets in, say, grab him. And he gets in, Damian, grab him, grab Josh, grab the walking weapon. And Sami has one arm and he's waiting to see what Seth Rollins will do. And Damian Priest, he's not wanting to take orders from Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins again, I said, grab him. You listen to me, grab him. And Priest eventually, he shows some unwillingness, but then he grabs the other arm of Josh Alexander. But then a theme song hits the PA system. And the Miller and Scott Hall, they come out on stage and the crowd loses their mind. And the Miller and Scott Hall, they waste no time running into the ring, where the Miller tackles Sami Zayn and Scott Hall tags Damian Priest with rights and lefts. Josh Alexander gets back in the fight. He gets his hands on Seth Rollins, clotheslining Rollins out of the ring. Miller and Scott Hall clothesline Sami Zayn and Damian Priest out of the ring, while Vince McMahon and Tom Nakano make a hasty retreat up the ramp with Priest and Rollins and Sami. And you can see Rollins just shoving Damian Priest. Why won't you listen to me? While Josh Alexander, the Miller, and Scott Hall pace around in the ring. They're wanting to get their hands. They're wanting to get their hands on the Church of McMahon, but it's not going to happen tonight. And Josh Alexander, he thanks the Miller, he thanks Scott Hall for having his back. And they show some love to each other as the Church of McMahon head backstage.